My friends don't hate you.
Cat does.
Yeah, maybe, but Cat hates everybody.
I just don't want to screw everything up.
Come on, Beep Boop, you're not going to screw everything up. Just relax. You know, don't be all mopey and weird. Just remember to smile and act happy. Okay?
That's what I tell Pete before we start every episode.
Bah, humbug.
Just remember to
I'm
smile and
Ebenezer
act happy.
Scrooge.
Kind of. We're going to talk spoilers today about this movie. We do that for every movie, but I don't usually warn everybody. But this movie's particularly new.
What movie is it?
Companion.
I watched Companion. That's what you sent me. You said, watch this movie, Companion. So I did.
That is a delightful comedy about a man framed for murder who makes a best friend after escaping prison.
It's an animated one. A pan is framed for murder, and his best friend is an ion. So it's a pan ion. See?
I see. I do
That's
see
the
it.
movie I watched. I both watched and saw that movie.
We're recording this in the middle of March.
The Ides. Is it the Ides of March today?
No.
Are we going to die?
It is not. That is not what the Ides of March means. Are you Caesar?
The salad guy?
Because I'm Spartacus.
I thought I was Spartacus.
We keep getting this confused. It's mid-March, and as of the recording of this episode,
Spartacus.
Companion. This is what you're going to do all day. This is if you listen to the Blue Velvet episode. We said we were recording 3 episodes that day. This is one of them, and it has not stopped. He is still just trying to drive it off the track.
I'm trying to stay on target. Like
Don't
Luke.
get cocky, kid.
Yeah, you saw where I was going. All right, tell me about the Companion movie that I didn't watch.
If I could finish the one sentence that I was trying to say.
I know. Why can't you? You are just so bad at talking, and you call yourself a podcast host. Look at you. Not even able to finish a sentence.
I've never called myself that. It is mid-March, and as of the time of this recording, Companion is my favorite movie I've seen this year.
Wow.
Unless we count Wicked, which is not from this year, but I did see it this year, and it was amazing.
I saw that you had bought that when you bought Companion, and I said, oh no. I didn't think you would watch it so quickly, but here we are, and I'm going to have to hear about it.
I loved it. No, that's fine.
Of course you did. Was there lots of singing? I never made it past the first half hour.
In Wicked, the musical?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some singing.
Well, because Disney usually has lots of songs in it, but every once in a while they don't.
This was literally based off of a Broadway musical.
I heard it was a book.
It was a book.
Right. So, there we go.
Okay. You've heard a lot. You won't hear me talk about Wicked because I know you don't care. I would never subject you to something you don't care about in that manner.
Thank you. That is the one nice thing I think you've ever done.
That might be true.
I've known you a while.
It's over 30 years. That might be true.
So thank you. I appreciate it. Genuinely.
But it was amazing. The movie Companion stars Jack Quaid.
What?
And Sophie Thatcher.
Sure.
And other people.
Is she in anything that I would have seen her in before?
Companion.
I told you I watched Pan Ion.
She was in Heretic, but you didn't see that.
I didn't see Heretic. Is that the one about the Mormons or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was in Yellow Jackets, the TV show, but I don't think you've ever seen that.
No, it's on my list. My brother-in-law says it's really good, at least the first season. So I got to check it out.
And she's in other stuff. I don't know what it is. Oh, she was in Boogeyman.
I don't remember Boogeyman.
From a couple of years ago or last
All
year.
right. Well, so that's who she was.
We did a Stephen King episode because Boogeyman was coming out.
No. You would remember these things. Now, this is your favorite movie, you say,
this year. Yeah, the best favorite movie I've seen this year.
Okay, I'm trying to... Even more so than The Monkey?
Mm-hmm.
Even more so than...
What do you think you're going to come up with that's not...
Well, you got to stop interrupting me, rude, and let me get to the end of my thought, and maybe I will come up with it. I just don't remember what movies came out this year. Jurassic Park, Fallen Order, World.
Again, this is mid-March. No Jurassic Park movie has come out yet this year.
All right. So it's your favorite movie. I liked it. And I watched this movie in 2 halves. What are we...
I'm watching your cat play with something underneath the stairs.
He's the People Under the Stairs, which I hear they're doing a remake of.
I don't know if that needs to be remade. I thought you would like this movie.
Yes,
but
and
I
you-
thought you'd like Blue Velvet, and then we find out surprising things about each other sometimes.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Spoiler alert from an episode last month.
I think this movie was a lot of fun. You know what this was?
Companion?
Yeah. You
Yeah,
did.
I
You
did
do.
know what
Okay,
it was.
good. All right. We're all on the same page. This was what Megan should have been. This is a AI bot done right.
Did not think this one through.
This is 100%. I don't know at what point I realized. I'm like, this is what Megan promised us in that commercial where that doll did the creepy doll dance, and then it just shit all over itself for the next 6 hours or
Did
however
not-
long that movie was.
Did not think this through.
What do you mean?
Now we're to listen about Megan for an hour.
No, you don't. That's just the comparison. This is an AI. This is a robot movie done right. Remember in Megan, they put that weird like rape scene in the woods, and it has nothing to do with a child's toy doll. Like we don't need that, but here it makes sense for these kinds of things.
This is the rape you approve of.
Well, no, I don't.
Attempted rape. I just want to be clear.
Ooh, boy, that's not a good look. Gotta rethink what I'm saying here.
Yeah, I loved this movie. It was a blast from start to finish. It is just a movie that is made just to be entertaining, and God bless them. They've succeeded, I think, at every turn to make it entertaining. It is funny. It's wild enough. It's unexpected turns.
They've got twists in there,
but they ruined the one in the trailer.
What? I didn't see any trailers for it.
There is no reason for the trailer to tell you that she's a robot.
Okay. No. In fact, I'm remembering the trailers now, but I didn't really watch them.
The first
clearly.
trailer, you didn't know that.
Oh, then maybe I saw that one.
Yeah, because you didn't know that.
Right. So this is a fucking cabin knock door woods.
Well, no, because this movie had a lot more fun little twists coming anyway. So it gets away with it, but I saw the movie at one of those mystery screening things.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Sold out theater. 90% of the people knew she was a robot because they'd seen that trailer. But the woman in front of me didn't know. And boy, she had the time of her life. And I would have really enjoyed that moment where she was stunned. I would have really enjoyed to be shocked by it. Because the first act has tons of clues.
Yeah, oh, they're all over the place.
But if you already know it, they don't work as well. They're hilarious in retrospect if you find out.
Right.
I mean, the fact that he calls her beep boop.
I didn't. Oh, man. Jack Quaid.
He's great.
Such a smarmy dick.
This is the closest he's come to playing Richie again.
Yeah, this one didn't have the lightheartedness of.
No, he's
Richie.
a pure bad guy.
Yeah, he's just a dick.
But I still liked him.
So how do you not like Jack Quaid?
I don't know.
How does he do it? Where I know he's the bad guy, I still like him, but I'm happy when he's losing. So I'm like, yes, you are the bad guy, but goddamn, you're so likable.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything about this movie. I walked
You knew
into
she was a robot?
No, I did
Oh,
not.
wow.
I knew nothing until I had told Kitty that I had to watch it.
It's funny
last
because I
night.
believe we've had an entire conversation about her being a robot and that being given away before.
Did we?
So it's
No.
to have your shiny brain would be just what a gift
smooth.
every day would be to learn everything.
Smooth brain, they call it. That's what the doctor says.
You get to learn something new every day, and it's the same thing you already knew before.
Oh, the big hole in his shirt's for your bottom part, not your head part.
All right, Kitty ruined it for you?
The night before, she read me the synopsis. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Like I had literally 2 hours later, I started the movie. If I had just made it 2 hours. But that being said, I got to see all those little,
Yeah.
and they were fun. I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
There's
And
so
you
many
know,
little fun ones.
I wasn't 100% sure that she was a robot, but I was close to it because it doesn't come right out and say, so this robot girl.
No, the trailer does.
That's so stupid. But the premise, for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's just a guy and his girlfriend go to a friend's cottage in the woods for the weekend, which turns out to be a elaborate mansion. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's it. But then
That's it. That's the premise of the
that's
movie.
the movie. Kind of like that other movie.
Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, that one.
Or Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin Woods. But Richie, what's his name in this one? Josh?
Yes. Josh Beeman.
Josh Beeman. Well, he's beaming her up because she's a robot and it's a companion. Get it? Oh, that's where the movie name came from because it's a companion doll and it's a sex bot. He calls her that at one point.
She doesn't know she's a robot. At
No,
first.
she doesn't at first.
She didn't see the trailer.
No. Oh, that makes sense too, because she figures out she's a robot during the movie.
He tells her.
Yeah, but she figures it out after he tells her.
Yes, that's true. The way you define words befuddles me. That's the end of your premise?
That was it. Right. And then hijinks ensue.
Hijinks do ensue in a twisty labyrinth of fun hijinks.
Because you have a cast of characters with varying...
As most movies do.
Sometimes. I did watch a movie recently where it was just a guy jerking off into a radiator for an hour and a half.
No wonder you like that one better than Blue Velvet.
Yeah, that one really spoke to me. But what happens? You have your cast of characters like most movies, except Eraserhead, and whatever that movie was you made me watch at the Dipson Theater, Buffalo Nickel, I believe it was called.
That had a cast of characters. There's 3 characters in that movie.
Yeah, that was it though.
It had one setting. That's what bothered you.
Right. It didn't have a cast of settings, just one. So then, who you have? What's his face? Guillermo from that show with the vampires.
Never seen it.
What We Do in the Shadows.
No.
Yeah, but he's in it. He's the guy.
Eli?
Sure. Is that his name in the movie?
Yes.
He's there with his boyfriend.
Patrick.
Yeah, you've got the Jack Quaid's friend, Kat,
Yeah.
who we heard about in this opening. She's there with her boyfriend.
Sergey.
It's
his house.
Yeah, and it's a giant, kind of private estate. And now Jack Quaid shows up with his love bot. And why did he bring her, Brian? For schemes. How do we do this movie? How do you talk about it? It's scheme upon scheme and funness. With a robot who learns that she's a robot.
For the first act, you're not supposed to know she's a robot, even though the advertisers don't want you to enjoy that. And Sergey is sexually aggressive towards her, and she stabs him, kills him, comes in covered in blood. And Jack Quaid says, Iris, go to sleep. And you find out she's a robot, except you already knew that if you saw the trailer. And robots are not supposed to be able to harm people. But Jack Quaid has messed with her settings.
He modified it, right? You can use your phone like an app to modify everything about them.
You can use your phone like an app.
You can use, yeah, like a little plate to put the meal before dinner on, and you eat it.
And Jack Quaid has changed her settings to up her aggression, planted a knife on her, turned off of her setting that protected people and animals
killing
from
is
getting
bad.
hurt, and set her up to kill Sergey so they could take his money because, as he justifies it, he's a horrible person. He's a Russian mobster.
Right.
And Kat keeps saying, oh, yeah, that. And he's also a terrible boyfriend. Right. And he's also married to someone else.
Yeah, just a bad guy in general.
Kat keeps saying repeatedly, plus he's a terrible boyfriend, which does not seem to impress Jack Quaid.
No, that doesn't bother him.
And this is an aside for where this story will end up going that's not really important to telling the plot. Sergey is not a Russian mobster.
No, it's just another fun thing we find out.
He just infers that because she says things like, yeah, his hands are real dirty. He made his fortune in sod farming.
Yes, he's a dirt farmer.
That's why his hands are dirty. It's brilliant.
Because he has a safe full of money that they're, robbing. That was Quaid's whole plot, was to have her kill him for the money.
But the problem is, he wakes up Iris to tell her she's a robot and what's happening to her because he wants to say goodbye.
Yeah, they're all because everyone's freaking out about it. Because
nothing in this movie would go wrong if he just didn't do that.
Because it started with only Jack Quaid and Kat knowing about
Yes.
the plan of murdering the guy and using the love bot to do it.
Yeah.
But then they have to rope in the 2 other guys.
Eli and Patrick.
Eli and Patrick.
So before that, she escapes with his phone and is able to change her settings. So she's able to up her intelligence to 100.
Yeah.
He has her at 40 and is very disappointed in him.
Right. She ups all her stats.
Yep. And when he explains to her that she's a robot, she's like, but I have memories. And she's like, well, they're all fake. Do you know how we really met? And it flashes back to him getting the robot delivered. Did you hear the song playing in the background?
Probably.
It's Iris by Goo Goo Dolls, which I believe is
yeah.
to tell us that's just how much care he put into naming her.
Oh, shit. I didn't even catch that. That's right. I recognize Buffalo's own Goo Goo Dolls,
Yep.
but I did not catch that the name of the song is Iris.
That's right. So I think he just got it and was like, I'll call her Iris.
Right. Now, the question I have, and I don't know if it's there, and I just thought of this question, is did he get her just to do the murder, or he got her originally because he's a sad, sad man?
Don't know the answer to that.
Okay. Because I feel like he's a sad, sad man. I don't know if he had the idea for the murder to begin with.
I don't know.
Me neither.
Because
I'll have to rewatch. Maybe there's clues.
maybe it's a pretty clever script.
It is. Like you said, there's the little secrets the hints and the nods all throughout the first act, which I caught most of them.
So they let Eli and Patrick in on the plan. And Eli's like, well, we're going to split it 4 ways. He's like, what are you talking about? We're going to split it 3 ways. We're not giving him money. And he tells Patrick to go to sleep. Patrick is a secret robot, the way that you think all alien movies have a secret robot.
And all aliens do have a secret robot.
That moment worked for me so well that I was doubly angry they ruined the Iris one for me in the trailer.
Oh, okay. Because then you would have had the double reveal. Yep.
Yes.
You know what? You're right. Because it was when that one turned out to be a robot, I sat there and said, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah, it was very cool.
What? So, that would have been good had I 100% not known that she was a robot.
They're out in the woods trying to find Iris, and Eli finds her, gets shot accidentally on purpose.
I don't remember how he died.
He's on top of her, he has the gun.
Oh, yeah.
And she fires it into him because she's protecting herself.
Yep.
And she escapes in Josh's self-driving car, but he's able to shut it down to say it's stolen.
The slapstick, him trying to break into the car as she's trying to get her voice to modulate correctly so that it can voice recognize her as the driver or the owner, is fantastic. Just Jack Quaid is so funny as a physical comedian.
He reprograms Patrick to be his new love bot, so he'll do whatever he tells him. And jailbreaks him and ups his aggression to 100 and sends him out after Iris, who gets found by a police officer. And in my favorite moment in the entire movie, because the robots cannot lie, changes her voice setting to German so he can't understand a word she's saying as she just gives away exactly what's happening. It's like, oh, you know Sergey? And then the capture will say, yes, he's dead. I killed him. And he can't understand any of that. And he's like, oh, good, Sergey. Yeah. It's hilarious. Sophie Thatcher's great in this movie.
Yeah.
Patrick shows up, kills that cop because his aggression's at 100, puts Iris to sleep with the app, a phone that can be used like an app.
The app phone.
The app phone. And then brings her back. And Kat is like, I'm done with this shit. We got to get out of here.
You just murdered a cop. You've murdered Sergey. You've murdered...
Eli's dead. I'm getting out of here, taking my money and leaving. And then he's like, you can't go. And she's like, I don't have any respect for you, you cuck. And then says, Patrick, stop her. Has not turned down his aggression, so he stabs her in the back and kills her.
Stupid Josh.
Josh's plans are as well thought out as Paul at the end of It Follows.
Yeah, there is no thinking. I don't like that Paul guy. Don't compare this evil person to that piece of shit character.
So Josh ties Iris up
again,
gets her to shoot herself in the head, thinks, I've solved all of my problems. And he calls the tech people to come get her and say she murdered all these people and she's going to kill me. And now Patrick's posing as the cop he killed.
In a terribly, terribly obviously guilty person confessing to everything as he's just trying to figure out what they know and what they don't. What are the rules here?
Well, the company tech guy does the best job in this movie because he's like, he seems interested in what's happening. He's not at all.
No.
And he's like, okay, great. Well, we're not here to solve a crime. And the police seem to be fine with it. And he leaves and the guy, his assistant goes, what do you think made her go crazy? He's like, oh, he modded her. No question. The guy's fucked. Yeah. And I was like, that is hilarious. That also means they've seen this before.
That did make me wonder, is this a regular occurrence? Like, you'd think that this would be all over the news if these murder bots are going crazy.
It appears to be a regular occurrence. And Patrick kills one of them. And Iris, who's been rebooted because all of the important stuff is not actually in her head, it's in her gut. So he didn't actually wipe any of the stuff he needed to wipe. They were able to see everything that she had done.
It was pretty cool when she shot herself in the head and all the like silica and computer parts came out.
Yes, but it was all Wi-Fi stuff, so it didn't actually matter.
Right.
And he thought, because again, this is not a good plan. Feels like you should have looked into how the bots work before you tried to have the bot kill itself.
And it only matters because all of that's down there. That's all the recordings of everything that has taken place is in her gut.
So she stops Patrick by reminding him of his love for Eli. Because Patrick is in some ways the most interesting character in this movie. Because he's a robot who has discovered he's a robot and has kept it to himself because he likes his life being Eli's robot.
Wait, what? Did I miss that?
I guess so. They're out in the woods, and he says something about how he reprogrammed Iris, and he's like, I would never do that. I mean, if you're a robot. And he looks at him and goes, but you wouldn't do that, right? Reprogram me? He's like, Eli, I know I'm a robot. I figured it out. And he's been keeping it to himself because he loves being Eli's robot.
Right.
It's the emotional point of this movie, is that the way he's able to stop Patrick is that he has deep inside of him, even though it's been wiped, he has the memory of loving Eli, and he remembers Eli. So she's able to tell him that Josh is fucking with him. And then the memories come back of how much he loved Eli. And then she says, because he says to her, like, you're lying to me. She's like, I can't lie. And that's when he realizes that his love for Eli is what saves everybody. Well, everybody dies. Saves Iris. And the technician.
Yeah, I just didn't know that he realized he was a robot.
He realized he was a robot well before that.
Yeah, see, that's what I missed.
But he enjoyed being the robot.
Well, he enjoyed being with Eli.
Yes. That is, there is actually a kind of a sweet love story in the middle of this movie between Eli and his robot.
Right.
It's another like little narrative twist on it. It was interesting. And Patrick's an interesting character.
No, it adds to it. When you can have your, like the B plots that are still as fascinating as, well, not as fascinating, I guess, but getting you connected and caring about it is fun.
So Iris comes in and eventually kills Josh. After what I thought was a great scene where she's got full autonomy now. She can control all of her actions or ideas. She can lie. She can do anything. She's been completely redone where she's a sentient, self-controlling robot. And she still can't kill him. And he's very bold about it. He's like, because you love me too much. And it's like, that's awesome. But then he fucks up again because his plans are stupid and starts beating the shit out of her. So like, of course she's going to kill her to defend herself. That's what she's done twice already this movie. If you weren't beating on her, she wouldn't have killed you.
I gotta give some props to that kill too. The kill of poor Richie.
The corkscrew to the head, automatic corkscrew.
I saw you see it.
Yeah.
It's your what
Yeah,
the
they show
Chekhov's
it,
gone. And then I kept saying, I'm like, well, something's gonna happen with that corkscrew. But by the time we get to the end, I had forgotten because so much stuff is happening and I'm just enjoying the ride, and I was taken by surprise and I loved it.
When you watch that first act knowing she's a robot, there's so many great moments, like how he's uncaring towards her in private. And it's like, just go to sleep. And when she it starts with her saying, Iris, wake up. Then you're not thinking that way. You're not supposed to be thinking that way. But since you know already, all these little beats are hilarious.
Yeah.
She even says something like, Kat's like, I just make me feel so replaceable. And she's like, Kat, you're not replaceable. It's like, I wish I was more like you. I'm just not built that way. Even though she doesn't know she's a robot.
No.
It's all there.
Yep, everywhere in there, and it explains her friends' behavior, or not her friends, but Josh's friends towards her.
Yep.
Like they don't like her. Which you know what is weird? Now that I think about it, right? Wait, no, I guess it was just Kat. And Kat didn't like her because she was part of the plan, I guess. Maybe she just doesn't like Lovebot, but she seemed okay with Patrick.
Well, Patrick's not coming for her, man.
No.
Well, I mean,
no, they weren't dating, were they?
But the whole point she said about being replaceable.
Oh,
She feels like, Sergei could just get one of these.
yes, and he could, and he tried,
He
but I
did
guess he
try.
can't.
He had all that money. He should just bought one.
Yeah, that's dumb.
As we learned in the mid-credits, there's plenty of Sophie Thatcher sex bots out there because she drives past one, a blonde one, and waves to her with her Terminator hand.
That was cool.
It was awesome, and it made me want a sequel immediately.
Me too. She's a Terminator, yo. I want her to be the new Terminator, the new John Connor protector.
Except the opposite, because she's protecting the robots. So literally the opposite of John Connor.
Guess what?
You didn't understand Terminator.
That's what he was doing the whole time? Interesting. No. Would you believe that in that mid-credit thing when she had her Terminator hand and she waved at the other Sophie Thatcher in the car, that I didn't know that was Sophie Thatcher? I thought it was.
Of course I believe it.
Really?
It'd be hard for me to believe otherwise.
I'm an astute observer of life, Brian, and I missed it. I don't know how I thought it was just some lady, and then she saw the robot hand and she freaked out like a normal person would when they see a robot hand.
Yeah.
Man, this movie had so much going on underneath the scenes that I missed.
Well, what I loved about this movie is that it's not a horror movie per se. It uses a lot of the horror tricks, gore and twists and stuff. But it's a sci-fi comedy thriller movie. But it's built off of a completely original and fascinating final girl story. So even though it's not a horror movie where it's not like scary, they're not trying to be scary in any moment, they're not anything like that. It really comes from one of the oldest horror concepts. 'Cause Sophie Thatcher's Iris is the best final girl if like one of the best ever, in my opinion. I gave 3 years now. We've had award shows. 3 years ago, Noah from Daisy Edgar Jones in Fresh won Best Final Girl because she outsmarts Sebastian Stan in a clever way, seducing him the way she was seduced to begin with. And 2 years ago, it was Caitlin Deaver's character in No One Will Save You, where she doesn't talk the whole movie, but she's fending off an alien invasion by herself from the beginning.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
The movie's not that good.
Oh.
Caitlin Deaver's great in it. Character's great. Bryn, Best Final Girl of the Year. And then last year, it was Sydney Sweeney's Sister Cecilia in Immaculate, who tackles the patriarchy. It's pretty great. Best scene of the year. One of the best scenes of the year with substance. Sophie Thatcher's Iris would have won the award any of those years. I think her Final Girl arc is so much more interesting and fascinating and well done. You talk about these characters gaining agency over the course of the movie. I've never seen it done more explicitly than this, because she's literally gaining.
Yeah. Even once she finds out she's a robot, and I see this adds to the idea of horror, right? Because you don't have control. It's autonomy loss.
Sure.
It's you, and then fighting against it and gaining it. It's horror. It's being.
We've talked about this before. It depends on your perspective. It's not a horror movie to some of the characters. It's a horror movie for Iris. That's why she's a great Final Girl.
Yeah,
but it's not a horror movie for if you're watching the movie from Kat's perspective.
Does everyone involved have to be in the horror movie to make it a horror movie?
The sentence I just finished saying.
Right, but you said it's.
This is the John Wick conversation we've had, where John Wick is a horror movie for all the Russian mobsters. He's literally the boogeyman.
Yes.
Coming for them. And he's going, an unstoppable killing machine coming to kill you. That is the plot of Halloween. That is the plot of Terminator. That is the plot of John Wick if you are one of the Russians.
And Wolverine.
What movie is Wolverine coming to kill everyone?
That last one?
Deadpool and Wolverine?
The one before that.
Logan?
Yeah.
Who's he coming to kill?
Everybody.
Who does he even kill in that movie? Does he kill anybody in that movie? I guess he kills a couple people at the beginning.
Whichever movie. Yeah, he kills everyone in the X-Mansion. They talk about it on the radio.
Professor X does that.
No, that was Wolverine.
No, it wasn't.
It was Wolverine. In the comics, it was Wolverine.
But this wasn't the comics. This was the movie Logan.
I might be talking about the comics now.
Where Professor X killed all of the X-Men because he had one of his episodes. And Logan was keeping it from him. But he remembers it before he dies.
Logan was the episode. All right. But I guess I'm going back to... I think this would qualify as a horror movie.
I don't think it does.
Interesting.
Because it's not... What's the scary scene? What's the scene that they're using for suspense and scaredness?
Well, okay. What would... Because, this reminded me a little bit. It's kind of like Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Like just all the people in the house and there's murder. Like, not really, because they weren't as unlikable and they didn't fall to infighting, but they were sort of infighting.
I thought these characters were more likable than the Bodies,
No.
people.
That's why I'm kind of differing from my initial comparison. But it gave me those feelings, and I guess I considered Bodies, Bodies, Bodies horror.
It is. Because as far as they know, there's a killer in the house trying to kill them. That is not the plot of this movie.
Right. All right. I don't know why it bothers me so much that I don't think... All right, anyway, go on. Why is it not horror?
I'm saying the movie's not, but her arc is
and she's
fundamental
your
Final Girl.
Right, 100%, and that makes it a horror movie.
But we're not really watching the movie from her perspective.
Do we? Oh, yeah, we see the parts when she's turned off.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
That's what I mean. The movie is taking a fly on the wall position, not putting us in the shoes of the robot.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's horror.
Which I believe it can't do, because the movie doesn't want you to know she's a robot for a half an hour. The trailer did.
I am so done with trailers.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Unless in fact, I think it's more fun going into things just not knowing what you're watching.
What makes this movie so great, though, is that it has that backbone of the Final Girl arc. One of the strongest I've ever seen.
Agreed.
I would say that it's almost a 0% chance she's not going to win that award. And we're only in March 10th or 11th when we're recording this, because it's been 4 years. I haven't seen anybody a better character arc. If that happens again this year, holy shit, that'd be stunning. So I really hope that the next Terrifier does not come out this year, because poor Sienna Shaw has twice finished second, just couldn't quite tackle the top thing.
That is rough, because she's good.
She got one more shot at it, and don't be this year, because you're not winning it this year.
Oh boy, she's going to end up with a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah, we don't have those.
I don't know why I'm pondering. I don't do these things.
When you die, do they take those away?
Yeah. Obviously.
Seems cruel.
The
Do they do it right
lifetime
at the funeral?
achievement.
I'm imagining them doing it at the funeral.
No, they come and take it out of your casket because it's put in there with you. And then
Yeah,
they come
they take it away.
back. Yep.
What do you mean no then? That's literally what I asked.
I don't know. I wasn't listening to what I said. I was having my own thoughts.
But you have this
See it.
strong backbone of an arc where, again, because it's not really sold as a horror movie, it's sold as a thriller, and it's sold as a multiple genre thing. Because you're not supposed to know it's sci-fi. It's a romantic comedy action sci-fi horror thriller, if you want that. If you're not familiar with horror movies, because this is more mass appeal than a straight horror movie is, these will be some new concepts to you in some ways. If you're not watching Halloween, you're not watching Scream, you're not watching Nightmare on Elm Street, you might not even realize that it's being built out of this fundamental foundation of horror, which is why it works so well, I think, in this setting.
Right. And one of the cornerstones is the final girl of horror.
Yes.
And you're right, 100%. I guess because I looked at it as horror, I didn't really think about the significance of her being the final girl. And she is an amazing...
Yeah, you're not thinking about it the whole movie because it's not really that kind of movie. And what makes the movie so great is that it has that base, but then the movie's fucking hilarious and unpredictable and fun the entire ride through. Like, you get fun little Jack Quaid one-offs that are just funny lines. When Eli and Patrick are going to help, they decide they're going to help, and they're looking at Kat and Josh. He's like, "Are you guys fucking?" And then she's like, "No, no." And she goes, "Gross." He goes, "Like he looks like gross." Like that's like you don't need that moment in the movie, but it's like that's entertaining. Put it in there.
Well, that's that Jack Quaid charm.
Yes.
He's so fun.
That's what I loved about this movie is that it's all over the movie.
But it works. He is such a dick, and I can't wait for him to get his.
He is. It seems when you meet him, nice guy,
The charming Jack Quaid that we all know and
charming
love.
guy, beautiful girlfriend, got these nice friends, and then you find out like over the course of the movie that he just is one of those fucking guys who blames everybody but himself for any shortcoming in his life. Every woman is turned on me. Every woman's horrible. The world, he says, is rigged against guys like him. The middle class white guys who actually are more than middle class, I think, because he's got a self-driving car and he's got a sex bot that he rents. He does point out he rents it because he doesn't have the money to buy it.
That's right. I forgot about that.
But that is a perfect look into what his character's thought is.
That's gross.
He can afford to rent a sex bot, but he can't afford to buy it, so he's not where he is because because women and the world are holding white men like him down. It's a perfect character.
That was one of the scariest parts to me was the used
rented it?
sex. Yeah, you're renting this like used underwear at like here, put on my underwear. You need a pair. Like no.
What? Whoever said that?
What you never?
No.
You never swapped underwear with a bro before? Like you guys are like, hey man, I shit my pants again. Can you hook me up?
What
Yeah,
worries
bro.
me about when you say things like this is that I'm your only friend. and I've been your only friend for about 3 decades. So when you say things like, "Oh, you never just like rubbed up against your friend and got one out real quick," I'm like, I've been the only person since you had puberty that you've had a friend with. Like, and I don't know what you're talking about
Since I had puberty.
since you had your puberty. I worry sometimes about what's happening when I'm not paying attention.
Well, if it wasn't you, whose underwear did I put on?
I don't know.
Might have been Kitty.
Oh, that makes sense. This has to be set in sometime in the future.
I thought so because of the self-driving car.
I thought so because of the robot.
What?
Like, how far away do you think we are from that technology?
You know what? That's a really good point. I assume that technology is already like it's already here, and maybe not quite as.
And it goes to the question of, like, he rents it, not buys it. How much do you think that technology would cost?
Enough for him to rent it, but not buy it. Yeah, I didn't put dollars on it, but yeah, it is funny. That smart driving car. I'm like, well, this is a future movie. At no point before that, with the 2 robots I now know exist, did I think otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And where do you think you'd get one?
I assume the porn store. No,
The one on Niagara Boulevard?
is that one still open?
I don't know.
It's been a long time.
Pandora's box.
Yes, it's been a long time since I needed to go buy a DVD of porn.
Yes, the internet's wonderful. But if they got these in stock,
Right?
I'll
But
rent.
I couldn't. That'd be gross.
I ain't too proud. No
No.
shame.
Now, could you just have it like?
Are you robot shaming?
No. I guess
That's a line in the movie.
Oh,
Because he's got
it's
an
right.
outdated model, Eli. Patrick's an old model.
It's outdated.
I'm just going to wait for you to figure out why that is funny to you and try to explain it to the world.
I think because they were a gay couple. Mm-hmm. So at some point they were
Oh,
out and they dated.
Yes, one of the funniest bits in this movie is how good for you for pulling that together.
Thanks.
I know you didn't have it when you started. One of the best bits in this movie is when you see their meet cutes, because it's how the movie opens. Her meeting Josh in the supermarket. A clear misdirect that you're not supposed to think she's a robot, so it's funny that the trailer wants you to know otherwise. And she even brings that up, like that's real. He's like, no, I picked it from a pull-down menu. It's just like tons of things. And you've already heard the meet cute between Eli and Patrick, but you're not thinking about that because I've discovered the robot in the movie, and you're not thinking about that twice. So you see how Eli and him met on Halloween, and then later when Josh reprograms him, you see the scene again with Jack Quaid in there doing the same lines in the dance. It is hilarious. The movie's really funny.
It has it's what I like. It's its own internal like logic that it sticks to. It doesn't have to like, okay, yes, there are sex bots, but it makes it seem like it's a real world. You have the techs who talk like this is old hat and it's happened many times before. You've got the just the delivery robot, to his apartment, or not the delivery robot, but the delivery of the robot. Mm-hmm. All these little things make the world feel lived in and real.
But if only it was.
Now, my question, if I got one of these sex bots, do I just have to use it for sex, or can it like go do my job for me and I can stay home?
Well, the technician says that sometimes people just tie them in their basement and torture them.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I forgot about all the sick shit that they just lists off. It's like, fuck me. No, don't.
This movie has two amazing cutaways to sex with the robot.
I don't remember either one.
Because you're not seeing it one time you don't see anything at all. The other time you just see it cut to Jack Quaid, orgasm face on top of her. And the second time is when he turns her on and he's like, all right, what are we going to do? And then it cuts immediately to him to the bedroom door and you hear him having sex there.
That's right. Oh man, that's good stuff. All right, but nothing about not like working a job or something. Like,
I guess they can do anything.
So now it really becomes a question of how much does it cost to rent versus how much do you get paid for whatever your job is.
So you send her to work every day?
Yeah. And I'll just stay home and like hang out, watch my crows.
Well, did he have a job? Because he complains a lot, but I don't even know what he did.
Why on earth was it? Well, he is an idiot. We figured that out.
Yes.
Because just send her to do work. That's what I would have done. That makes the most sense.
Every character in this movie is funny in some way. It's a really good movie. And a lot of actors I hadn't seen before. I don't know who played Kat. She was tremendous.
Yep.
Like a fully lived in character that I just completely bought, and I'd never seen her in anything. I'd never seen, what was the show you said that guy was on?
Oh, What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, I somehow never seen him in that.
It's fun. Yeah,
I'd buy him because Kitty likes him.
Yeah, they're good. I like it too. He's like the familiar. The vampire's familiar, and he desperately
I've seen
wants
the
to be a
movie, so
vampire.
I know the terminology and stuff.
Yep.
He was great. The guy that plays Patrick is great, especially since he has to pull off the one real emotional moment in the movie. It was pretty great. I completely bought it, and I was like moved by it. And I was like, wow, at the end of all this wild nonsense, like these flashbacks to him and Eli together is like, this is actually beautiful and working really well. And I was really sad. And then he kills himself because he can't live without him. I was like, that's fucking dark and amazing. But they're programmed to only care about the person they're with. Like even when Eli's dead, he just doesn't even move. He just sits there holding him. And it's like, there's like a beautiful movie story inside of this messed up movie.
Yep. There is.
Especially since you didn't know this, especially since we know he knows he's a robot.
Yeah. That does add a level of deepness to the scene of him just
It's one of my favorite moments when he tells him, I figured it out.
Yeah, and it just shows that he literally is everything, not just programming. It
also points to something more interesting. This is why the Patrick character is so interesting to me. When Josh gets Iris, he asks, does she know she's a robot? And he says, no. She's going to be way too thinking about your needs and how to please you to ever even consider it. But Patrick has figured it out because Iris is programmed to love Josh. Patrick is programmed to love Eli. But Patrick is so comfortable in his love for Eli that he has time to think about other things. It's a much more beautiful expression of their relationship that he's more fully formed and fully thought out because his love is like actually real as
Yeah.
opposed to obsession.
Well, yeah, Eli is a responsive partner.
Yes.
Like a partner, I guess that's what it is, as opposed to whatever the fuck Jack Quaid is like doing with.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he really. Why is he so goddamn charming? That piece of shit. Oh man, it's so fun when he gets it though.
He has a new movie coming out the week this is being recorded called Novocaine.
I want to see that one
I
too.
did see that one.
Ooh, how was it?
It was very good because Jack Quaid, very good. Not evil in this one.
Ooh,
Just playing a likable schlub who cannot feel pain.
nice.
He has a disease, and it means he can't feel pain, so he could just bite his tongue off and not know it.
Yep.
Like everything is terrifying to him. And he makes a connection with a girl at work, and then he's a bank assistant, and she works as a bank teller. And then, like the next day, bank robbers come and take her hostage, and he decides, I guess I'll go get her because they can't hurt me. And it is a pretty slow first half an hour because they're making you care about the characters, and because it's Jack Quaid, I do, and it's Amber Midthunder who played the lead role in Prey,
Ooh,
and she's great in it too. So after that first half hour or whatever, first act, it's just one long wild chase of, oh, my hand's broken now, and like it gets pretty gnarly at times too. How gory it gets because he can't feel it, so he's like, oh, got to keep going.
right, just like Deadpool with his.
It's very much like Deadpool if he was just Jack Quaid.
Right, with no healing powers. Just, oh no, I just break slowly, but I don't feel it.
It's like those scenes where Deadpool's like, oh no, my foot. And it's like it doesn't fix.
Right. That sounds fun.
It was fun. It was a fun movie. I didn't like it as much as Companion, but it's a fun movie.
You know why Companion made me think of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies? Because the Cat and Josh had almost the same kind of feel to their relationship as Pete Davidson
and the lead.
Yeah. That's why I think I thought there. But the movies do differ, but that like old friends kind of thing.
That was the movie where Pete Davidson played Pete Davidson, and he was great in it. And has one of the funniest endings I've ever seen in a movie.
Anyone I know who's watched it enjoys that movie. I don't know anyone. I don't know a lot of people who have seen it because it's such a weird movie.
The thing is, I didn't really know any of the female characters, which are the leads. But they put Lee Pace and Pete Davidson in there, and then they're barely in the movie.
No,
It's
right.
pretty great. Well, I know the main girl was Borat's daughter in the sequel, who was so great. I think she got nominated for an Oscar for it. She was so great in that movie. Imagine getting nominated for an Oscar for like Borat too. But she was that good in the movie. She voices Cosmo the dog in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. I don't even remember that third one.
I believe that's her in that. I just don't know. I know that people know who Rachel Sennett is. I'm not one of those people. She's like the top credited person. I just don't know what she's from because she's like in her 20s and probably makes TV shows for people in their teens, and I don't watch those shows.
Yes, I do.
So I liked her in that movie. I liked everybody in that movie. Although, I thought these characters were more likable than that.
Oh yeah, they were meant to not be like what this movie.
Well, that movie's a dark. I don't mean dark in subject matter. This movie's dark in subject matter. It's a dark movie. It takes place in a dark house with no electricity, no power. It's people and during a storm, and people are dying. This movie is very pastels and bright, and released around Valentine's Day for a reason. It was pitched in the original trailer like a Valentine's Day movie. The original trailer is from the studio that brought you whatever one of those movies, like one of those.
The romantic comedies you enjoy so much.
Yeah, from a studio that brought you those romantic comedies. And then it's Jack Quaid sitting at the table, and on the other side is Sophie Thatcher, and then it cuts towards down, and she's handcuffed, and then it says, and the twisted minds that brought you Barbarian, because Zach Kreger, who directed Barbarian, produced this. Yep. And that was enough to sell the movie.
That is the trailer I saw.
That's enough to sell the movie.
See, that made me think it was a horror movie.
Yes. I guess that would sell it as a horror movie.
Right, and
which is funny because, again, the second trailer kind of makes sure you know it's
I'm
not.
so glad
That's
I
probably
didn't see
why
the
they did
trailer.
it, because they thought it would do better as not a horror movie. It did make money. It made like 40-something million on a $10 million budget.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it did great. And it wasn't in theaters very long because that's how we do things now.
I feel like it just came out, so I was surprised when
It
you
did.
said that.
It did just come out.
I can buy it on VOD already. I'm like, really?
When we're watching this March 10th, it's been less than a month since it hit theaters. I think it hit like February, like right around February 10th.
Yeah, it didn't seem long. Okay, that's too bad.
And it was on VOD for a week already. So it was like 3 weeks into VOD, even though it was successful.
I'm glad it made its money then, at least at the theater.
It did. And I think this was the first time for this writer director, and oh boy, can I not wait to see what he does next, because this was, first of all, beautiful movie.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful looking movie. Great cast. Great dialogue. I'm not sure if this director wrote it or not because I didn't take those notes.
Okay.
But great script.
I
Having so much fun with the concept.
I agree with you. This was a fun movie.
Yeah.
And this is what I want in movies is exactly this.
Well, this is why when you said, we're going to try to do 3 today, and what's the next one we should do? And I didn't want to do 2 David Lynch ones in a row because they're a little heavier. And I was like, it's Companion. And I got to buy it. It was funny to update on that Wicked thing. I refused to buy it for $30. I refused to buy it for $20, even though I desperately wanted to see this movie. I said, I'll buy it when it's on sale. And it was $12.99. And the next day I said, let's just do Companion. I'll pay $25 for it. I don't care. That's how my brain works. But I also knew that this would be the most fun one to watch because I knew you'd love it, because I was like, I really had a blast with this movie.
I did too. And I think I still maintain that it is just it's horror. It fits into the horror sci-fi category. I feel like there's been a lot of these robot AI movies that have come out in recent years because that's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing we're all scared of now.
Yeah. But this was the first one that I've really enjoyed.
This one is it's prioritizes having fun. You're the viewer having fun over everything else because it knows it's got a clever enough script. It's got a satisfying payoff. It's got everything you want because it's built on that final girl arc. So even though I don't think it's a horror movie, it fundamentally works because of what it's taking from horror. It's like reverse engineering a perfect final girl arc and putting it into something more bright and more fun and more wild.
Okay.
And more funny.
Yeah. For me, you have a final girl and you have her in trouble. That's horror. Like,
I guess so. But again,
Yeah.
we're really not watching it from perspective. We're watching it
I know
as
we're
if we're
not.
a casual observer.
I'm trying to think of a movie that has a similar, you're a casual observer to one person kind of going through.
It's an odd thing because horror doesn't really do that. Horror puts you in the position, for the purposes of being scared, in the position of the weakest character that becomes strong. That's why those arcs work. This was watching it from a third-party view, and that's not usually what you get. Which is why it is such a fascinating thing to me, and it makes, I don't know if it makes the thing work even better, but it's such a well thought out and plotted out arc for her character.
Right. And I'm still trying. I agree with you 100% because the
It's
brightness.
rare. Let's shut it down. End of the podcast.
Go out on a high note.
We're done forever. I wish we hadn't recorded ones for the future because I've been waiting 2 years to get that.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll forget I said that probably by the end of this podcast.
The guest?
The guest. Well, it's funny you were talking about AI because you know what my Nick news is? Guess what? I don't know what my Nick news was. I wrote it down, man. Oh, here it is. Nick Cage just a couple of days ago, it was at some kind of award thing, and he just gave us a dire warning about AIs and how they're coming to take us and kill us. And we shouldn't, it says he warns against AI. We shouldn't trust them for their AI ways. Also, did you know that in what's that movie? The Terminator? Arnold Schwarzenegger plays the Terminator.
I should know that.
Okay, good. Then we're on the same page. Did you know that Arnold lost a role to Nicolas Cage? Can you guess which movie?
No, this is the first time in over 2 years I'm actually interested in something you've asked me.
All right, let's end this podcast now. We are rolling into the high notes. I don't even answer. I don't want you to answer. I just want this podcast to end.
I have this horrible feeling it's all going to be downhill from here for both our friendship and this podcast. Oh, boy. I could be any Nicolas Cage movie, and Arnold Schwarzenegger would have played it. I want to say, your first thought, I'm so interested in this. Your first thought is to go to the action movies, obviously. But he's not going to play Stanley Goodspeed in The Rock, so I'm removing The Rock. Con Air, that's a pretty good one. Him versus all those villains, it's a pretty good one. I don't think you'd face him off with John Travolta. That doesn't make any sense. I would love to hear Arnold say not the bees, but I'm sure that's not it. Ghost Rider.
No, you were right the first time.
I was, Connor.
Nope.
Was The Rock?
It was The Rock.
He was going to play a chemical scientist
I guess. Hey, remember Denise Richards played
Dr. Christmas Jones.
yes, a scientist of some note and stature?
I thought Christmas only came once a year.
See, that's just a solid line. That sounds like a Josh line.
That's why you make the movie, because you have that line in your pocket. He was going to play the scientist who was the nerd, they must have reworked some things on that script.
Well, he played Junior. I guess since he didn't get to play the scientist here, he went and did Junior where he plays a scientist.
Oh, the one who's pregnant?
Yes. But I guess they came to him initially and it wasn't a completed script and it was kind of half done. So he was like, no, but I'm interested. But then Nicolas Cage swooped in and said,
Thank God he did. That's one of my favorite Nick Cage movies.
it's a good one.
And he plays off Sean Connery so well. I can't even imagine trying to think of Arnold Schwarzenegger. First of all, I mean, I don't even know where to start with how bad an idea this is.
I don't know. That'd be pretty cool, though. Be almost like I was going to say a Tango and Cash kind of movie, but
It's a Tango and Tango.
it's a Tango and Tango.
Did you have credit check?
Oh, I have a credit check.
I like to put them together so people can fast forward.
Okay, yeah. No, it's right at the end. So, Companion, the movie, 1 hour and 37 minutes, a fine length. It has so many operators, Brian. I've never.
Does it have a smooth one?
Let me check. No, but here I wrote them all down because I've never seen so many operators. Now I'm annoyed that there was no smooth operator. If you're going to have this many operators, one of them better be smooth. All right, we have a lamp operator, a dimmer board operator.
I feel like I could do that first job.
A generator operator. Yeah, the lamp operator sounds easy. That's the easy one. But then then we have the boom operator, the Steadicam operator, a camera operator, and a video playback operator. Now here's the one, and I need your I guess opinion. There is something. Tyler Isaacson is a phantom operator. Now, did he die and he's still like haunting the set and just operating whatever he operates, or is he the one who operates the ghost that lives on set?
Neither.
Okay. Well, that answers that. Moving on to special thanks. Kirby, I assume the little pink guy who eats things and he's the best in the Super Mario Brothers Melee games. He gets that. And, there were many construction grips, but there was only one best construction grip, and that was Matthew Todd. Good work, Matthew Todd. Now, here's one, too, I don't understand. Rob Henderson, he provided the eyes. It says, eyes provided by. What does that mean?
It means that the script,
The
every
letter
time
I?
there was an I in it, he had to come in and type it.
Well, that answers, but it's spelled EYE, so.
Took a long time to film that, to make that script.
Did they have to call him in each time? Like special? They didn't
Yeah.
just have like a couple pages
Yeah,
and
he
go,
got
here.
to compand, and he's like, damn it. Charlie, get in here. What was his name?
I don't know. His name, it was Rob Henderstein. Henderstein. I can't read my writing.
I've got an update for you.
What?
I've asked AI for some Nick Cage news.
What have I got? He told us not to talk about AI. Don't trust it.
That's why I did this. Public appearance at South by Southwest on March 10th, 2025, which was yesterday when we're recording this. Nicolas Cage made a notable public appearance at the South by Southwest Film Festival in Austin, Texas. This event marked his first public outing since the dismissal of claims against him from a lawsuit filed by his ex-girlfriend, Christina Fulton. Oh no, this took a dark turn.
Oh, yeah. You know what happened?
I know this. He attended the premiere of his upcoming film, The Surfer, where he showcased a striking black suit adorned with
pink
sparkles,
glasses.
complemented by a satin shirt and sunglasses.
Pink sunglasses.
What did he do to his ex-girlfriend?
No, I guess her son, his son, I don't know. Somehow he's related to Nicolas Cage, but they're divorced, right? And the son broke into the mom's house. Like her son broke in, and then I think he threatened her or something. So she sued him and Nicolas Cage. She just dropped his name from the lawsuit.
Let's see what AI has to say about it. In late February 2025, Christina Fulton filed a lawsuit against Cage and their son, Weston Coppola Cage, alleging that Nicholas enabled Weston's violent behavior towards her during an incident in April 2024. However, on March 10th, Fulton dismissed her claims against Cage, but continues to pursue legal action against Weston.
No.
That's everything you said. You're
Right.
like an AI. You're a Nick Cage AI.
What do you need an AI for, man? I exist. I'm better than Nick Cage is right. We need to burn our computers. Hey,
That's not what he said.
we need to smash anything. What is this microphone made out of? Is it technology?
No.
Oh, okay. Then it's safe. But otherwise, we smash AI.
Are you advocating for tying up your sex bot in the basement and torturing it?
Man, that just keeps on going back to where I am today, isn't it? I wouldn't say torturing it, but I would say tying. Although, how does she keep escaping? They don't seem to tie up very well, so I probably wouldn't tie it up.
No, another great moment in this movie. Eli's outside calling the police. Or no, calling somebody. I don't think he's called the police yet.
I think he was calling the company to come pick
Yeah.
up the...
And he's like, no, she's tied up. It's fine. And in the background, she's escaping. And Patrick's like, oh, Eli's like, sweetie, I'm on the phone. It's very funny.
That's right. There's so many of
Yeah.
those funny moments throughout the film, though.
I laughed so hard when Sergei was a sod farmer because they kept saying his hands were dirty. It's a dirty business, he said.
Right. These hands aren't clean.
His hands aren't clean.
My hands aren't clean, he
Yep.
says.
Yep. I laughed so hard in the theater at that. I laughed harder than everybody else in the theater at it for some reason.
I wish I could have been that woman who was in front of you who'd had no idea. That would have been great.
It's a weird sentence when you just take it without any context.
Oh,
I wish I was that woman who was in front of you that had no idea. That would have been great.
Yeah. That would have been great. Just that woman sitting there, you behind me, eating your popcorn. I have no idea.
People like Novocaine, too. Jack Quaid's making some fun movies. Again, I don't think it was as good as Companion, but I did think it was a very good movie. Like, fun.
I've been watching, I think I told you before, the Star Trek the Lower Decks with him, and he is fantastic as Boimler. In fact, I just Jonathan Frakes. How do you say Riker's name?
The first one.
Frakes.
No, Jonathan. Go ahead.
Glad I got it right. He was on, and he's funny. What did he say? He said Jack Quaid's name is Boimler, and he called him Boimler, and it was an accident, and it was hilarious. They just kept it in.
You a Star Trek guy now?
Jack Quaid is kind of swinging me when I look at what Star Wars has churned out and what they've done versus what Star Trek has a lot of shit.
Tons of it.
I have no interest in most of it, but they've got that Station 31 with Michelle Yeoh.
That got destroyed by
did
critics.
it?
Section 31. It was horrible.
Oh, it's too bad. It looked fun.
Yeah, it said it was horrible.
Damn it.
But Strange New Worlds is actually good.
Yeah, I'm still in season 1 of that.
Yeah,
because
I enjoy the shit out of it. It's one and done's.
You'd like Lower Decks too. It's a lot of fun.
I'm sure I would. There's, you know this, in season 2, there's an episode where he becomes human.
Yes.
And is on the show.
The
It's
Lower
pretty
Decks
funny.
character, the cartoon animated one, gets sent to the
So it's
live
Jack
action.
Quaid.
And Tawny Newsome.
In Strange New Worlds. That show has fun. I enjoy that show.
All right, I got to watch more of that.
Yeah, and everyone should watch Companion because I really think it's. I think we're going to see it. I know we're going to see it in the awards for Best Final Girl. It's just. I would be stunned if she doesn't win.
Well, that's the thing to watch now for the rest of the year.
It is.
Is there going to be anybody better than her? Because I agree. This is a great final girl.
When she changes to German and is just like politely answering questions like, oh yeah, I came from the house over there. And he's like, Sergey. Oh yeah, Sergey. He's like, how is he? He's like, he's dead. And she can't understand him. And she's just staring at her. It's so great.
Oh yeah. Then when Patrick shows up behind the cop, she's there trying to say, he's coming to kill you.
Yep.
Stop, run. But no, you speak German only. You can't help.
Such a cool movie with lots of cool ideas. Highly recommended, especially when it hits streaming somewhere. You're not going to regret watching 90 minutes of it. I mean, I just spoiled the entire movie for you, but
It's worth watching.
it's worth watching anyway because there's so many little moments that are funny or clever. And just even when you realize, which you did today while we were here, that he's nicknamed her Beep Boop. It's like, what an insufferable little prick.
Everything about him, but he's so, it's like, it's such a hard thing to be, hard thing. That's literally Ben Grimm. He's made of rocks, you see. But to be
Ben Grimm, the superhero?
yeah, that's the one. Married to Alicia Masters, the blind sculptor.
Are they married?
I think so. They have little rock children. They do.
Pebbles and...
I think so. Bam Bam. But anyway, I lost my thought. Oh, to be such an insufferable.
Did you think I didn't know Bam Bam's name?
Yeah.
Or could you assume that I didn't use it because it is not a small rock?
No, it's a small rock. A Bam. I knew it wasn't, and I wondered why you didn't say it. So I said it for you.
Yeah, so you thought I didn't know Bam Bam's name.
Yeah. But I also realized as I was saying it before, it was a split second before I said it, that it has nothing to do with Pebbles, and maybe that's why there was a pause.
That's why I stopped.
But I didn't have time to stop, you see. I had to show you that you didn't know the name. But yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Go
Watch
see Jack
Companion.
Quaid.
Go see, yeah, Novocaine's fun. Companion's better. Watch both. What a double feature.
I think I might do that.
They're really, I mean, this movie,
Is Novocaine 90 minutes?
yeah, about that.
I'm in.
Might even be a little bit less.
Ooh.
It flies by. Fun movie. But by now, 'cause this is airing in May, it's already out of theaters because God knows we don't leave anything in there that long. It's not even out yet when we're recording it.
I think that fucking Wicked movie is still in theaters.
Of course it is. It's amazing. You want to hear all about Wicked?
No.
I like the singing, and I liked Ariana Grande. I think she's giving one of the a tour de force comedic performance in this movie. She's doing a lot of Kristen Chenoweth because that's who originated the role, and Kristen Chenoweth is a very specific kind of comedy.
Is that what she's doing?
Yeah, because Kristen Chenoweth created Glinda on Broadway, and even the way she uses her voice sometimes in talking, she's doing clear things for Kristen Chenoweth. And I don't know, what point of the movie it is when you really sink into this character, like she's great at it, and I love it. I guess she told Kristen Chenoweth when she was like 10 years old she was going to be Glinda one day, like backstage. Heartwarming stories about the show movie Wicked.
Boo.
I can't wait for part 2.
Boo. Oh, there's a part 2.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
The Kool-Aid Man has betrayed me.
I hope that they just make up some more and
No.
do 10 more of these
You
things.
you can't make the Kool-Aid Man a harbinger of bad news and ill tidings and then just move on with the conversation. He's like my childhood hero. He busts in when you're bored with somebody else's conversation. He's like, oh yeah.
Your childhood hero was diabetes.
That's why I liked Wilford Brimley so much.
Well, that and the mustache
Oh, yeah. And Cocoon.
and the thing.
Oh yeah, that's a Brimley.
How did let's just set aside it's a horror movie podcast. All you do is talk about the thing, both Grimm and Carpenter. How did this happen? Now we got to keep doing the podcast because it fell back off the cliff again.
Wow, it took a hard left turn straight off the edge. All right, well, I feel more comfortable now. That was weird for a while agreeing with you. I feel good now.
Well, next week we're going to watch, not a watch along. When I start saying that, I always think it's going to sound like it's a watch along. Pete and I are going to watch and then discuss on next week's podcast a movie from the year 2000.
Conan.
That's the movie. I watched Conan O'Brien Can't Stop Again yesterday.
What's that?
That's the documentary he made after he lost the Tonight
Oh, I
Show
haven't
about
seen
his
that.
tour that he went on, and it's fucking good.
All right.
Because you get to see him behind the scenes and how he's very angry about what happened to him, but
What?
trying to make everybody happy as he's running down.
What channel is that on?
I watched it on YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
It was just on YouTube with no commercials.
Okay.
So next week we're watching a movie from the year 2000 because it's the 25th anniversary, and a sequel is coming out.
What movie is this?
It's called Final Destination
Ooh.
with Devon Sawa,
Ooh.
Tony Todd,
I like Tony Todd. He's the guy in that movie. The Candyman.
Claire Renfield from the movies.
I like Claire Renfield.
I don't remember who she is. Ellie Larder.
I like Allie Larder.
That's her. And I think her name in this movie is Clear. Holy shit, I just put that together. And Stifler.
I like Stifler.
And I think that's everybody I know from the movie. But
I saw that movie in the theater with you once.
that's probably right.
It is. I've never seen that movie again, and I never saw any of the sequels. So
I saw all of them. We're not going to do a Final Destination week because I'm not going to make you watch 5 movies that are essentially the same movie over and over again.
that's what I figured.
It does some fun things here and there. 4 of them I think are actually good. There's one that's not that good. Number 4 is not good.
Which one has the logs falling off the
2.
truck? Okay, well, I remember that.
That one's really good. I think the first one's really good. I think the 5th one's really good. And I think that the 3rd one's good. I think the 4th one's the one that's bad. That would be the one that is the racetrack one.
Okay.
Maybe that's the 5th one. I don't remember. I know that 5 is really a fun movie, and then at the end it turns out to be a prequel, and that must have been why I loved it so much.
Everybody loves
It's cool though
the
because you
prequel.
follow these characters, and then at the end of the movie they're getting on the plane that's going to blow up in the beginning of the first movie, and I was like, that's cool. And also, I didn't realize the reason I like this so much is that everybody loves a prequel,
Everybody loves a prequel.
even a secret one.
So that's next week.
We're doing Final Destination with Devon Sawa.
All right. Who is he again?
He's in the Chucky TV show. He was in Idle Hands. He was the star of Final Destination. He was just in Hard Eyes.
Didn't see it.
And
I know the name, and I'm sure I'll recognize him when I see him, but I can't remember him now.
does a lot of horror stuff.
Okay,
he
cool.
was in Black Friday with Bruce Campbell.
I didn't see Black Friday.
Well, you're not a Bruce Campbell fan, so that makes sense.
My heart, it is broken.
Your Hard Eyes.
My heart eyes are broken.
All right. Everybody watch Companion. Come back for Final Destination, which I don't think is as good as Companion, but I do like the movie a lot.
Is everything going to be compared to the companion movie for the rest of this year?
I'm going to tell you how many years away it is from the others and how it compares
25.
to
24, 30, 600, 2,
Final
1.
Destination is 1 year before the others. And I'm going to tell you how it compares to Companion, where it's not as good as Companion. But it's not that far off. I think it's a fun movie. Death Has a Design.
And it'll
be fun to see Tony Todd again.
Is
He's
he
only in
dead?
it for a second. Yes, he's dead.
No, is he dead? Because he's dead.
Oh, I misheard you. Yes, he's dead. All right. See you next week.